Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Shonen and Chill, hosted by Zenrotto and Oceans.
Hello, hello, folks.
And we got a fat week this week of
Yeah,
just
good
good
week.
chapters. Yeah,
Yeah,
quality
like
material in our magazine this week.
yeah, there was quality scripture being delivered. Like there really no, honestly, there wasn't a single chapter I think this week where I sat down and just sighed at the thought of having to deal with this. Like everything actually was kind of gas.
Yeah, I
Um,
was pleasantly surprised by just about everything.
yeah. So, is there anything special on the agenda, or do we go straight into the top threes?
I've got nothing on the agenda, so I think we can just jump in.
All right, perfect. My top three in that case, I'm gonna just barge in with them. Number three, we have Undead Unluck. Number two, we have My Academia, and number one, we have Jujutsu Kaisen.
Okay. My number three was My Hero Academia. My number two was Undead Unluck, and my number one was Jujutsu Kaisen. So hey, all
Hey,
right, we got some semblance of uniformity on this episode.
yes, we don't have five top threes anymore.
We made it. Yeah, and I like how
We,
it's five, not six, because Jujutsu Kaisen is guaranteed.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't think I've put Jujutsu Kaisen anywhere outside of my top three ever since we started the show.
I don't think I have either. I don't think I've ever really
Yeah.
put it outside number one very often.
Yeah, because I have put my hero out of the group a few times. Um, not this week though. This week was actually really good. But we'll get to that. So do we just want to get right into it?
Yeah. Let's see. What is the first on the list? Looks like Witch Watch.
This chapter was actually really funny.
It was really funny. The
Uh,
progressive them slowly making everything worse was really funny.
yeah, and also when they started with, "Oh, you're a spoiled child, you don't know how to deal with like roomies," I was like, "Oh, okay, I know where this is going." And then the twist is, no, wait, they're actually spoiled rotten because Moy does everything.
Yeah, they're all the same.
Yeah, I really do like that. Those three are sort of the zero brain cell squad, and yeah, just I don't know, just a lot of cool interactions. When he fucking like spills the beans on that she loves Moy, that page had me shook for a second there.
Yes,
I was like,
that
no
stressed me
way.
out for a minute. And
Yeah.
then he hits you with the noise canceling headphones.
That were not mentioned before whatsoever. Yeah. But yeah, no, just it's a cool dynamic now that because it seemed the final page really makes it seem like this is the final sort of group essentially that we're not going to get any more additions.
Yeah, with the
Um,
nameplates on the house.
yeah, and I feel like that honestly, like this dynamic is cool. I like it. Like I was worried at one point that we were getting a little bloated, but if you can keep this sort of energy up, this sort of absolute chaos, I'm up for it. This is really fun so far.
Yeah, there's nobody on the main house that I really dislike or get tired
Hmm.
of dealing with.
Yeah, I was actually thinking it was in Witch Watch, the one with the those two chapters with the student club full of cliches, right?
God, yeah.
Yeah. Damn, that chick got dropped real quick.
Which
And
thank
thank
God,
God.
because that was
Yeah.
miserable.
Yeah. The author realized, like, oh no, this is not working. Let's get rid of it. But yeah, no, I just enjoyed it. I liked how they're like, oh, when we try to cook and help around the house, he's gonna come home and say, "Oh my God, it's a disaster." And they're like, "No, of course not." And then 2 pages later, the house is on fire.
The panel of the house on fire and they're all passed out on the floor is so funny.
Especially because immediately the page before is them being all hopeful.
I know.
Oh, yeah,
Three people
it's
have
good.
collapsed, only one's trying to put out the fire.
There's a fire. Things are burning. Everything's broken. Oh yeah, this is cool. I'm glad
Nico
that
panicked and dashed in and splashed water onto the pot of frying oil.
Also, I like the little meta joke where it's like, this is a good opportunity to finally draw the layout of the house.
Yeah.
To like give myself and the readers a guideline. Which actually, that kind of makes me wonder of how long this series is planned to go on for. If you're gonna go to the trouble of establishing like rooms and shit.
Yeah, I don't
Because
know.
that feels like a big
it feels
deal.
like a series that doesn't need to have a strict timeline because it's so disjointed as it is anyway.
True. Like it's like an episodic serial at this point, right? Like you just tune in to see what these absolute idiots are up to this time. Like,
Pretty
oh yeah,
much,
we recruited
But I kind of like that.
a vampire. Yeah.
It's just like a cute little way to spend a couple minutes in your Sunday morning, you know?
Yeah, I mean, Sunday evening for me.
Whatever. You live in a fantasy place, so it's fine.
I live in the non-canon time zone.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we get for being small and making cheese. That's our punishment.
That's your lot in life, is being small and making cheese.
Yeah. I mean, I'm literally small. You know, I got those Italian genes, so I'm a short guy. I don't know how to make cheese though. I've not quite unlocked that power yet.
One day. It's apparently in your blood.
Well, technically not, considering I'm not Swiss by blood.
Damn. Yeah.
In my blood
I don't have a phrase for it to use, I guess, but damn. You got no cheese in you.
Cheese to hear it. Kill me. Absolutely. Like, put me on trial for that one. I'll freely go. Like, FBI, if you're listening and we know you are, arrest me. It's fine.
I
accept my fate. I confess I am cringe. I could no longer hold it in. But yeah, Witch Watch was not cringe. Witch Watch was fun. Fun out of 10.
Yeah, just a good little cute time out of 10.
Mm-hmm. What's next?
All right, let's see. What's next on the list is going to be Protect Me, Shugomaru.
This was fun too.
Yeah.
Like, surprisingly so, actually.
The fact that one of the characters is just Summon Skull from Yu-Gi-Oh! Is really fucking funny to me.
That and the fact that because he has that dragon tattoo, Shugomaru absolutely does not suspect
just
the one guy.
Completely trusts him, yeah.
Wait, let me find the thing. An assassin, the fellow with the dragon on his arms, unlikely. Then he just asks him, "Are you Skull?" Nope. Like, the entire sequence just gets dumber and dumber.
What attribute is your dragon's?
I'm gonna say though, the whole thing with like the I in her T, and it's like, oh, it's from my Mike Wazowski keychain. Yeah. That's the dumbest sequence in all of Weekly Shonen Jump, but it's so funny to me.
Also, why is his acupuncture needle like a giant steak?
A giant steak, and the guy just pulls it out of his still bleeding skull and says, "Oh, this would be great for making pie crust." Also, the final page actually really caught me off guard.
Me too. I was like, "Oh my god, did this series just do an actual effective cliffhanger after?"
Yeah, I mean, he does stab her tit.
Yeah,
which, that is weird.
There's probably going to be a joke about that later on.
Well, I don't know what joke you want to make. He's just deleted her nipple at this point, unless she has like
she's gonna have some dumb invention of his on underneath her uniform, I think.
No, the joke is gonna be that she wears push-ups or something, and they protected her.
She like stuffs her bra.
And like, yeah, my fake breasts, and Shugomaru is like, "What's a breast?" And cue laugh track. Next on Channel 7, The Big Bang Theory. Anyway, you know, that's the kind of vibe I'm getting. But this chapter, for what it is, was actually really funny. I also like how the school is just made up of absolute mutants.
Yeah, just
Like,
freaks. Like what? I guess look at the little thing on the back of the guy's head that stabs her. Is that like a possessing him or something?
no, that's probably just his hair. Because I mean, do you remember the one that dwells in darkness?
Yeah.
The fucking like shadow entity that transfers to another school. But honestly, I don't know how much we can really praise this chapter because the goat wasn't in it. The man himself.
Yeah. I hope maybe he's what's underneath her shirt that's gonna jump out next week.
Oh, Slash Takizawa, what were you doing there?
And then he's gonna slash the guy.
Yes. He's gonna cross swords with him. But yeah, no, this was fun. This was alright.
Yeah, it's one of the better chapters of this for sure.
Honestly, it might be my favorite. Now that I think about it more, because I can't remember another chapter where I was like actually laughing most of the time.
Yeah, a lot of the times the jokes in this series don't do it for me, but they were all pretty good this week.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the time you have one central, like fairly weak joke, and then a couple of auxiliary jokes that are way better. I feel like this is the first time since the first chapter where the main joke was actually funny. You know? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. In that case, makes sense out of 10. I can live with that.
The panels where he makes the donut dragon.
Yeah. I don't know if we'll ever hear about why he's so obsessed with dragons. Because on one hand, I kind of want to know what stupid thing they're going to invent for that. But also...
Well, didn't they just say it's just because dragons are popular with kids and he's like 7 years old?
What attributes are your dragons? Yeah.
I think they're light attributes.
What a fucking kid. Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say on this one.
Yeah. Cute out of 10.
Cute out of 10, for sure.
As one does.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see here. It's like a big gap. Okay.
Yeah.
So
right.
the next one is going to be Mashle.
Which was good.
It was good.
Yeah, very, very good actually.
I like when he's walking up the wall and Finn is like, I mean, he would do that. That is just a thing he would do.
Yeah. Am I the only one who immediately thought Dio in Phantom Blood?
When he was walking up the wall?
Yeah,
he does look a lot like it.
Yeah, like isn't that literally what he does in the like Joestar Mansion?
Yeah.
Damn. Is that a JoJo reference? The man who had only ever seen JoJo asked.
Also, I like how our new guy's lines, like his magic lines, are like little devil tails.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those are cool.
Mash's brother,
yeah,
so to speak. Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, this is setting up to be a cool encounter. I'm surprised at how final this feels.
Yes, it does feel very like climax.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it might just be the series being funny again. Because, you know, Finn's like, oh, Mash, the road you've traveled has been far. And then the first thing that happens is Mashle falls down an abyss and walks up the wall through sheer leg power. So, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know how seriously we're supposed to take this. But yeah, I thought it was a cool and sweet chapter. Not a whole lot happening. Mostly just sort of the tie-up of the last fight where we get the guy from before sort of explaining his backstory a little more and getting accepted by Mash. And then just to set up for the new one. I mean, for the new fight. I mean, like, it's good. It's cool stuff.
Yeah, it was one of the more basic chapters that we got this week. Although, ironically, I also think My Hero is probably one of the more basic chapters we got this week. It just was very nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, you don't always need to be climaxing to be doing good stuff. Sometimes it's important to, like... Oh! I just realized.
Oh God. All right. Well, anyway,
You're
you're right.
you're 5 years my senior. Get it together. But yeah, no. What I'm trying to say is that it's also very feasible and very good to have like just a good exposition or setup chapter. And I
so
think
you're
both
saying so you're
Mashle.
saying that you don't always have to come, but foreplay is important too.
Yes, Mr. Zenrotto, my elder and my senior, whom I look towards for guidance in my adult squabbles. Yes, you do need the foreplay, but you do not need to come when it comes to writing manga.
All future manga could take that down. That's nuts.
Horikoshi, you listening? You don't always need to just fucking nut on the page.
Is that what
It's
we're calling
fun.
Mirio now?
No. Miro is like there's no analogy I can make that will not make the rest of my tea taste like absolute garbage. No, the nut on the page, that's like Mirko and Stars and Stripes. That's what Mori's drawing with his
Okay.
stick out. You know?
Gotcha.
Anyway, Mashle is a 4 play out of 10.
Foreplay.
4 play out of 10.
Yeah, I could co-sign that.
Oh, did you hear that? Zenrotto co-signs 4 play. I think
always
any future
approved.
employer should keep that in mind.
Oh God. Okay. Let's see. Next up is the Elusive Samurai.
What'd you think?
I thought it was fine. I thought it was pretty funny. I like how the kid got what he wanted in the end, but actually it wasn't good.
Yes, because he's like rough. Yeah. Yeah, this was probably the weakest chapter this week, I want to say, but it still was fairly enjoyable. The fucking kid and his stupid, gross, detailed faces. Dear God, I hate it.
Yeah,
like his facial
he
expression
creeps me out. I don't really like him.
I was trying to like put my finger on it why it is, and then I realized it. He looks like those Pepes or Vojaks that have like really detailed facial expressions. That's what he reminds me of.
He does kind of look like that.
Yeah, like he looks like a 4chan avatar. But yeah, no, the chapter was fun. I thought that the way sort of their conflict got resolved was actually pretty cool. I'm not sure if we needed this. Like, this feels very separate from the rest of the story.
Yeah, it does. It feels very. I guess it was just supposed to be like a little bit of a breather between the big battles, because I imagine we're getting back to them soon.
True. And I mean, I guess it did give us a breather from the battle strategy exposition bonanza that we had going on for like the last month. So I suppose that's good. And I like our main guy with his hair open. That's actually kind of a cool look.
Yeah, it is. Unfortunately, I don't think he's going to get that look very often, but it is a good look.
Yeah, well.
I also like the last joke where he takes the order literally and he gives him cheek rubs for 3 straight days, and then it points to the main guy and it says no malice.
Zero malice.
Zero malice, yeah. He's just so proud of himself.
That's something I need to tattoo on my forehead, to make sure people know that I don't mean it badly. I'm just awkward.
Zero malice.
Zero malice. That's just the equivalent of saying no homo after kissing your homies. It's like the get out of jail free card.
Zero malice, guys. I know this fucked everything up for you, but zero malice.
Look, I did stab him 3 times, but Your Honor, have you considered zero malice? Adjourned. Yeah. But yeah, no, this was an alright chapter. Definitely, as I said, sort of the most meager chapter out of the bunch this week, but it's fine.
It's definitely the one that has the least to talk about. It was just kind of cute in silly moments.
Yeah. exactly. Cute and silly out of 10, I guess, would be adequate, no?
I agree.
All right.
Next up
Uh,
on the list gonna be Dr. Stone.
Going from very sort of meager to Jesus,
Yes.
uh,
Holy shit.
the page where they're saying our radio is silent genuinely made my heart like skip a beat. I've not
Yes.
experienced that in a while.
That was stressful. The way that they're drawn too. Ugh.
Mhm.
Ugh.
Like the sheer horror on their face, on the sheer horror on is that who is that on page? I'm not even recognizing. Is that Zeno on page 2
Yeah,
at the
that's Xeno.
bottom? Yeah, I couldn't because is his scar misplaced? Yeah, he doesn't have his
Yeah, he
scar.
doesn't have his petrification scar in that picture.
Yeah, but the way he's drawn there, just the sheer horror in his face, like yeah, wow, that's a strong visual for sure.
And then you get Senku
Um,
drawn in the same kind of art style, also with just like the horrified eyes.
mhm.
Oh god, yeah, that stressed me out. Then it got
Yeah,
a
because
little
like
cartoony at the end though.
yeah, but I feel like that was almost like to balance because the start is very stressful.
Yeah, it is. And then when
It
they
was
tell
also
you
like,
that like it's a strand of Kohaku's petrified hair that
mhm,
like fucked up the electrical board.
mhm.
Yeah, and then when Senku got the panel of Senku just saying like, yeah, we would need this, which we do not have. We cannot
Yeah,
fix it.
yeah, which is that's kind of the thing that got to me. I think the most the fact that Doctor Stone has such a like clear, defined rhythm of oh no, we have a problem. Here's a bunch of science bullshit and a bunch of resources to fix it, and then that's an arc. But obviously, you can't do that in space. In space, you have what you have, and that's it. And so you still get the same problem. Oh no, something's wrong. But you cannot get the usual solution of yeah, let's just go mine aluminium for 30 years, and then we have a phone. Like no, here whatever breaks is broken, and that really shook me at the start. And yeah, as you said, at the end, I mean, the fucking gyroscope panel is so funny.
Ryusui is just spinning himself.
Yeah, I am my own gyroscope, a human reaction wheel. What a fucking king.
And then I love the last panel of Senku drawing his theory of relativity back on his shirt.
Yeah, and also just the final like panel of the sun, or I think it's the sun or whatever that is, like just the light flares and the cross of the space
Hmm.
craft and Earth, which is weird. I mean, I definitely did not expect like the cross as a metaphorical symbol to appear in Doctor Stone of all things, but it's interesting, that's for sure. Because like the way that page is composed, it's hard to not look at it as, hey guys, look, it's the religious symbol.
Yeah, I mean, even with all the one like the light flashing off of it, it seems pretty intentional.
Yeah, exactly. But I wonder what the fuck that means. Is Senku gonna sacrifice himself for the sins of humanity? Will he will he learn how to make fish and
I
bread?
mean, it's not impossible that we have an ending where their return plan doesn't work exactly, and someone has to stay behind. And if
That
someone has
is
to stay
true.
behind, odds are it would be Senku.
That is true. I mean, I kind of now you say it, it does seem kind of in character for Doctor Stone to have at least a bittersweet ending in a way.
Hmm.
Because especially this entire space section so far has felt very sort of like it's establishing the fact that shit is very dangerous and anything can go wrong, but shit is also very beautiful and very sort of serene. And I feel like the mix of those two moods can almost only conclude in a bittersweet ending. But I guess we'll have to see. Do we know if Doctor Stone is ending this year, like
I
in
don't think we have a
20?
hard timeline. I mean,
Okay.
I would wager yes, it probably will, but
Mhm.
it could be. They haven't said anything officially, so.
Yeah, like next 40 chapters, 45 chapters. That seems realistic, no?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like
All right.
I
Yeah.
could see anything post summer, honestly.
All right. In that case, yeah. But yeah, stressful and fun out of 10 from me.
Yes, it was a roller coaster of a chapter.
Yes. What's next?
Next up is gonna be Blue Box.
I can't believe we spent weeks talking about how we are so dreading that the other girl is gonna get that Shono's gonna get hurt, and then she didn't.
Yeah, and then she didn't. Except now I'm dreading whatever's coming because the way they ended this chapter was like stuff happens in the future when you're young and you're not ready for it. And I'm like, damn, stuff did happen in the future when I was young.
But now it's the past, so
Yeah,
it's
I
like,
know.
yeah, no, I definitely agree. Like the final cliffhanger, also like just the whole thing with Chinatsu. It's like, why do you look so sad after she parted with THICC? That's like, oh, there's
Mm-hmm.
some stuff here. They're gonna have to work through some stuff. And honestly, with this chapter, I almost wonder if like next fireworks festival, like the one next year, if that's gonna be sort of the set piece for the finale.
Oh, I could see that.
Yeah, because this feels like it's setting that up almost. Um, and specifically, like, you know, they say, oh, in a year's time. And I feel like you wouldn't bother saying that unless that specific festival in a year would be somewhat relevant.
Mm-hmm.
So which means that a whole lot of romance bullshit has to happen in like the next 12 months for them. Which, you know, is accurate for
Well,
teenage
yeah, I
days.
mean that is what the story's about, so.
Yeah.
And also the fact that they use the word fleeting worries me. No one uses the word fleeting with good intentions.
Mm-hmm.
There's something
Yeah.
coming. Something bad
Yeah,
coming.
that's true. Like the fleeting fireworks reminded me of my life. Oh no.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Anytime
Oh
you hit the
no.
word fleeting, there's some bad shit coming.
He actually means it literally, and in a year's time, he straps himself to like fireworks and and blows himself up
He
for
fucks it
the
up with
fun of
both
it.
girls, so he just blows himself up with some fireworks.
He's like, I could never have predicted that not only would I be alone, but also a pyromaniac. Anyway, and the box in which he stores his fireworks is blue, and that's the blue box. Roll credits.
We did it.
We did
We
it.
did it.
Do we know why it's called blue box? By any chance,
Not that
actually?
I know of.
Yeah. Because I don't think it's a mistranslation. I think the original title is also just a box that is blue. So, I guess we're going to find out. Maybe it really is the box in which he carries his fireworks.
Maybe. I don't have any idea what the actual title means. But man, the whole little ending or the whole beginning into the ending was like cute and sad, and I was like, oh. And then
Yeah,
like
but
because he was like, yeah, if I call her cute, she'll just leave. But then she looked sad that he didn't.
mhm.
I was like, oh man, what's happening? Why am I so sad
Yeah.
about these children, these fictional children?
Yeah, I know. But honestly, I kind of really appreciate that about Blue Box in general. It's that it's so understated in the way it does these sort of emotional moments. Because by all intents and purposes, this chapter is literally just two people talking and then one guy walking over to another person to talk with them. And there's nothing like huge here. Like the dialogue isn't all that dramatic or whatever, but it's just like this the use of panels and like focuses on facial expressions gives you this intense feeling of just like, damn, something's not right. Something with this interaction just did not work out.
Yeah,
And I
there's
think that
so many
that's
panel shots of just like reactionary eyes in this chapter had me be like,
yeah,
people
but
are
it
there's something
works.
in the air here. Yeah.
Yeah. Like even just the page where she's like, you better get going, page 12. There's nothing here that should tell you that this is a scene with like a certain feeling of unease, a certain feeling of, you know, that feeling that you get when you fuck up a social interaction.
Mm-hmm.
And yet it somehow still communicates that. You know, the weird, like, cut off panel of our main guy with his eye, like, abnormally to his side, like, mouth and nose all missing. and sort of the happy but weirdly blank expression on Chinatsu's face. Like it's just this artist is so good at communicating stuff just through very undramatic facial expressions.
Mhm. Just that sort of, like, neutral face that there's stuff underneath.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Yeah, like look at Chono's face on page 15 when Taiki comes back in the corner at the bottom. Like that's not a dramatic face by all intents and purposes. It's like, oh, hi, what's up kind of face. And yet, I don't know, it gets me. Like it's just so there's something behind that that's just difficult to really put into words. It's just good art, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
It is. This whole series has really great art. It's just, like, it's got a good understanding of, like, I don't know if human emotion is the right term, probably seems a little dramatic, but it just has a good understanding of, like, how to communicate without needing to literally spell it out for you.
Yeah, right. And I think that's aided by the fact that a lot of the plot is in of itself also very reasonable, right? Like as I said, there's nothing crazy dramatic happening. It's just a whole bunch of people trying to hang out with the people they want to hang out with. And it never goes beyond that. And I think that sort of amplifies this idea that um there's just this sort of understanding of how teenagers really work. There's not there's not unnecessary drama beyond the usual stuff. There's not anything crazy happening. It's just teenagers, and they look like teenagers who are confused and sad and sometimes hopeful about things. uh why do I like this series? All it does is make me feel. It doesn't even make me feel pain. That's the problem. I can deal with pain. It makes me feel this weird thing in between.
Yeah,
Like
it
I guess
makes
there
me
were.
feel the anticipation of future pain, which is way worse than pain.
Yes. It's like almost wistful in a sense. But yeah, uh, delicious pain out of 10.
Just
Delicious
agony.
understated pain out of 10. Yeah.
'Cause, like,
All right.
you give me a shot, I'm fine, but you tell me I have to get one, and I'm like, "Oh, man." You know?
Yeah, yeah.
Ah. Alright.
Oh,
Next up is gonna be, Ayashimon.
which was also very, very cool.
Yeah, I like this guy's power, it's, like, weird.
It's basically ice powers, except he does
Except
fire.
it's fire, yeah.
Yeah.
Although, I got weird, like, this is ending early vibes from this chapter. It might just be my paranoia, but I got very weird, like, "Aren't we rushing this a little bit?" vibes
Oh, you
from this.
think? Oh, you
Like, when
think?
she
How
was
come?
gonna unseal all of her powers from her dagger, and now her identity is out as the whole thing she was trying to hide. It's chapter 8 and
Hmm.
it's out now.
Hmm.
I don't know, it's weirding me out. I'm picking up weird Candy Flurry vibes from this, but hopefully I'm wrong.
Interesting, because I really didn't. I felt like this was sort of the way you just escalate the plot, right? You make sure that she cannot just hide out for the entirety of the first half of the story. Um, because also I don't know, because if it was like a rush job or like a run to the finish line, I'd expect everything to be fairly like standard, just going through the motions because you're cancelled. But for example, the guy's reaction to realizing who she is actually like it really took me by surprise. It's like this mix of fear, sadness, maybe a little anger. Like it's interesting. Like I definitely found that to be interesting and intriguing enough to the point where I didn't immediately like suss it out as, oh yeah, this is sort of something that we're setting up so we can end this in 5 chapters. Um, Not saying it can't. Would be brutal if it did.
Yeah, I would
Like
be
that would
pretty
be.
upset. This is a good series so far.
Yeah, and
2
also it would be
panels that
super
I really
early.
like are
Yeah.
the top panel, the guy's face on the last page, the guy's face when he gets called a scumbag.
Hmm.
It's really good. And then also the
He
last
looks.
panel is fucking awesome.
Yeah, he looks so tired in that top
I know,
panel.
he just looks so over it. Like, he's just
Yeah,
ready
he's
to
like,
go home.
Also, on the second to last page, Maruo's face on the top panel. Wow, that has Chainsaw Man vibes.
Yes, big Chainsaw
Like,
Man vibes.
Like, yeah, that's a Fujimoto ass piece of art. But yeah, I liked Maruo's role in this part as well, where he's just like, I am grateful to this girl and I'm going to fight you because I like shonen. I'm like, yes, I like shonen too, but I do not have the constitution to go fight the Yakuza, so you do it for me. Go, little anime boy.
Go, little
Um,
anime boy.
yeah. But yeah, I just like this whole like interaction. It was interesting. Um, but yeah, definitely one of the not so crazy chapters of the week.
Yeah, it was
But yeah,
pretty normal, other than the guy's weird powers, which I think are cool.
but yeah, I don't have much more to say on it, to be honest.
Yeah. It would be nice if this went into some kind of like training arc where he had to learn how to use abilities other than punching to counteract. Because like you straight up cannot punch this guy. So
Yeah, that's true. That's
you know
true.
he could start learning because he's like supposed to be some kind of special order of human that fights demons, right?
Yeah,
So
something like
I
that.
assume they have some sort of abilities to counteract that, or it's just going to be like a one of those manga where he's like, I punched the wall and then the water from the pipes shot out and got on you and now you're melting or something. It could also happen. I don't know.
Environmental damage.
Yeah, it could happen.
Yeah, but let's see. I do wonder because for a series that we've been worried about in terms of canceling for a while now, it does a lot of world building every chapter.
It does. Yeah.
Um, so I'm wondering if we're gonna get sort of the same treatment as you said, sort of for the power system and for the way combat will be organized. Because this still feels like Naruto versus the guy who's trying to kill him in the first chapter. Like setup fights before the story really takes shape.
Yeah, it
Um,
does.
so yeah, I guess we'll just have to see where this goes. For now, it is literally icy hot out of 10, I guess.
Oh god. All right. Next is gonna be My Hero Academia.
Oh damn, we in the top three.
We are.
Yeah. Uh, this was the first My Hero Academia chapter in a long time that I enjoyed pretty much without any reservations. Like, it's just cool. Like, yeah, like Aizawa's whole speech about how, on one hand, he needs to be tough on him in order to also like free him of his fear, but on the other hand, he still deeply cares for Aoyama. That's just cool. Like, it really just makes Aizawa a much cooler mentor character to me. In fact, it might be one of my favorite moments of his. Um, I also like how he's like, your friends are just soft, so I'm gonna tell you the real truth. This is serious, and we cannot guarantee that you'll have a place at school after this. But you're still my student, and I care. And that's just good shit. And I also like the way, because this is the final fight. We're over it. I mean, I'm not over it, but we're pretending we're over it. Um, I do like that it seems that it's going to be distinctly different from the Paranormal Liberation War arc. Because if this was just another everyone fights everyone arc, I don't think it would work at all because it would just feel like a less built up scramble compared to the previous war arc. But the fact that now that they're trying to essentially um, categorize who has to go fight whom one by one, it's very shonen, right? It's basically like trying to turn this into a tournament arc more than anything. Um, but it's still interesting, and it's still something that, at the very least, this series hasn't done yet. I feel like I can't remember the last time we had an arc in My Hero where it's just a billion characters, all of them in their one-on-one fights. I feel like it's always been group fights so
I do
far.
want to say that we did just discuss this being what we hoped would happen, like
Oh,
a
really?
year ago. Yeah,
Oh.
we when we mentioned this happening, we did hope that people were going to get some time to shine by having some individual battles instead of just being like backdrop.
Mhm.
So hopefully it does work out the way that we had talked about. I'll have to go back and find that episode. But also, I think
Yeah.
it's really fucking funny how many panels they react like, all right, guys, it's time to sit down and we're going to discuss the master plan. All right, are you ready for this shit? Fight them one at a time. Wow, All Might, thank you. You fucking tactical genius. I don't know how
He's
we
like,
could have made it this far. I don't know how you. I can't believe you made this amazing plan condensed into only fucking 7 pages.
oh my, it's like, all right, fellas, are you ready? You got your notebooks. You got okay. All right. Which one of you has seen the Sasuke retrieval arc? Yeah.
If you have, you
Anyone?
can go because you're gonna get this perfectly.
Like, anyone? It was up on Toonami. But yeah, I mean, it is like that. And you know, I think that that's fine. I think for a final arc that can work very well. And my hope is that we get back a little bit of that characterization that a lot of characters have lost or are still missing. Because a one-on-one fight is the perfect time to like essentially write short stories about your characters.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you think of, to bring it back sort of to Naruto, if you think about how Choji's fight essentially turned him into one of the coolest characters for the span of 2 chapters. I hope that we're getting stuff to sort of that quality. I don't think we're gonna see every single fight. That just doesn't seem feasible for 50 chapters.
We'll
But I do hope
probably
that we,
see what Dobby is. We're definitely gonna see Dobby. That's the one that we know is gonna happen.
yeah. I mean, I think we're gonna see every fight for every named villain, but not for every named class character. I think that makes the most sense. We're like, because there's fewer villains than there are class members, so just have all the villains only fight the important class members, and you know, Tail Guy fights a jobber, and then you have 2 panels of him saying, "Oh, my mother looked at my tail and cried once, and that's my trauma." Anyway, go back to Dobby. You know, like the camera pans to him, and he's like, "Oh shit, I have to think of a trauma
He just
to
pulls
tie
out
into
note
my."
cards.
Yeah.
He pre-recorded shit.
All Might wrote them to make sure they recreate the Sasuke arc properly. My clan was killed by my what?
He's got like a shittily drawn with magic marker tattoo, like what's on Neiji's forehead, on his tail.
they're like discussing the plan. It's like, what is this plan? Why is this so weird? And they're like, oh yeah, All Might just spent the weekend binging Naruto.
He shows up to the next meeting reading Makeout Paradise.
I asked him if he's aware that his plan has numerous holes and inconsistencies, and he tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Believe it," and left.
He replied to me with a string of tweets asking if I'm questioning Kishimoto Sensei.
Like on his whiteboard, he has Plan A, Samurai 8, and then cross through Plan B, Sasuke retrieval. Every time we asked him for details, he just screams "Datebayo" at us until we leave. At the end of the story, you find out that the comic book that that All For One and his brother were reading as kids, it's just like Naruto or Dragon Ball or some shit.
Definitely. It's 150% is.
Yeah. But yeah, this was a cool chapter. Like I think I said it before. We were talking about coming and foreplay. That that
That's getting clipped so hard.
oh fuck, my sides hurt.
The
I should
level
take
of
my own
fucking-
advice.
That is gonna end up all over Twitter for sure.
Oh,
You know, earlier
well,
we were
let's
talking
see.
about coming.
Yeah. Anyway, here's how this relates to My Hero. But yeah, no, I really think that this is a good example of how you can make a chapter with basically there's nothing happening here, right? Like it's just people talking. But it's a very good example of that, where you essentially use that talk, that dialogue, to develop the future, to develop what is at stake. Because I think one of my biggest issue with My Hero over the last 2-3 months has been that either there was always something happening that was, of doubtful merit, or it was talking, but the dialogue didn't do anything. Like, how many fucking panels and pages did Hori waste in the last 3 months for people to just say, we're definitely gonna beat All for One in different permutations? There's at
Yeah.
least 3 full pages of Deku saying that with like a group shot. It's, that's not a good example, but this is. And it also helps that their plan is, splitting them up, sure, sounds like very normal, very easy, and very sort of whatever. But the actual justification and reasoning behind it, I think, is pretty cool. Like, it's like they're trying to do what I've been trying to do to Hori for the last year, which is fucking separate Shigaraki and All for One again, you piece of garbage.
Also, is his name really just All for One? That's just that his parents were like, my child, All for One.
No, actually, I thought that for a second when I was reading it, but I think, because remember, when Stars and Stripes uses her quirk on something sentient, it only works if she uses the name that sentient being recognizes as itself, which is why the whole Tomura thing didn't work. So I'm assuming All for One just recognizes himself as All for One. He probably has forgotten his real name.
Okay.
He's like,
I guess I can.
He's filling out a form. He's like, Spinner, what's a first name?
Is my first name All, middle initial F, last name One.
Mr. AF1. It's like, no, Spinner. I can't make that my name. It looks like I'm called a phone. I'm not a phone. I don't want people calling me.
He's trying to buy something online for the first time ever because he never did that because he's a fucking boomer.
Uh-huh.
He's like, what do I put down for my billing address? And like, it's just your name and where you live. And he's like, fucking frozen, staring at the keys.
Like, I know none of those. Like, Spinner walks in on him trying to order, like, fucking. He's trying to order Malcolm in the Middle DVDs off Amazon.
No, he's trying to order Ben Shapiro's brain pills.
And as his address, he's given in cave in the mountains.
It's just, what's your name? All for One. Okay, where do you live? Everywhere. His address is just the shadows.
The form. The form asks him his gender, and he just starts listing his quirks because he doesn't know how to answer that. Oh my god. All for One, like, browsing a fucking, like, online store now has me in stitches. He's like looking at like an online pet store, and he's like, look, Spinner, it's your family. And to Spinner, that's like the equivalent of like a racist uncle. He's like, yeah, sure, haha, anyway.
Yeah, he just is like, haha, yeah. Calling my ass to talk with it.
Every one of the league members has time allotted to their day where they have to hang out with All for One, because otherwise everyone would just leave him alone.
Shigaraki's like, no, go spend time with him. He worked very hard for us.
Yeah. So what if he makes you uncomfortable? He's family, goddammit. They're like having dinner together, and they're trying to like have a normal conversation. And the moment the topic goes on to, like, I don't know, modern politics, everyone groans the moment All for One opens his mouth, because they know they're gonna listen to another rant.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I really think the fact that we've created our headcanon version of All for One is an indication of just how fucking much the canon version of him sucks. Like, oh my god. Why does Hori try to make this man scary? Just make him a fucking comedy genius.
Right? Like, he's not scary at all, but if you made him, like, an extremely powerful dumbass boomer, it would be so good.
Yeah. Like Shigaraki's the actual face of the operation, but he doesn't have the heart to kill for once. He just keeps him around.
All the shit All For One's been doing is just in his head.
It's like, ah, yes, I escaped. Tartar's like, here comes the plane. Like,
That's why the pacing for this portion sucks so much. Is it's just All For One's fantasies.
Oh yeah, that's why it's getting worse because he's deteriorating.
Yeah, that's why it's getting shittier and shittier because he's flipping into dementia.
Well, you remember that part in the story where, like, they say, oh, in the past when All Might first beat All For One, he like crushed his skull, but All For One supposedly recovered completely. Yeah, maybe he didn't recover so completely.
Brain damage.
Everything since then has just been him like stumbling his way through the story.
He's just Forrest Gumping his way through everything.
He's like, Shigaraki, life is like a box of chocolates. You gotta steal some quirks. Like, that makes no sense. Chocolate. He just like eats a piece of chocolate, farts, and leaves. Oh my god, I wish the like comedic My Hero spin-off was published more regularly and was maybe a bit more like expanded. Because oh my god, if they ever did something like that in My Hero Smash, that'd be so fucking funny.
If they do, I want our royalties.
Have you ever read Smash?
I have not.
Yeah, the jokes are kind of hit or miss, but some of them are actually kind of funny. Like, one of them is Todoroki dyeing his hair the opposite color so that the sides are switched, and then going to school trying to figure out if anyone would notice. And he comes home all depressed because no one noticed.
That's amazing.
Yeah, no, it's actually really funny because they're all like they're typical like Japanese 4-panel comedy gags. And so, pretty sure they've reached the villains by now. I think there's at least one making fun of Dobby that he doesn't shower. That one is canon.
Well, yeah, isn't it though? Wouldn't that hurt his skin, his gross skin?
It's one of those. It's in that lovely category where we just don't ask because the answer is both obvious and gross.
The answer is clear and unappealing.
But yeah, to return to this chapter, to the last big thing I think we haven't talked about yet at all, Shinso is back, and you can tell Hori drew this chapter right after watching No Way Home.
He drew this. I feel like this whole chapter was an excuse just to draw Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Hori didn't. I thought he tweeted or said it in an author comment a couple of weeks ago that he went to watch No Way Home and that it was good. I'm assuming he was drawing this chapter at the time. Because yeah, it's literally the Spider-Man pose at the end there. So now between Shinso, Deku, and Tape Man, he has introduced 3 separate Spider-Man characters. Like, at what point does he have to fear Marvel?
Yeah, at what point are they like, all right, let's seriously. How many times are you going to make Spider-Man a character in your fucking thing?
Also, flicking through it, the panel of Aizawa talking to Aoyama, and it's just white background and them talking, and Aoyama's missing.
Yeah, I was looking at that. Belly. I was like, what is that? Because he doesn't have his belly button? Is that why that's cut that way?
Well, I think it's to show that he's literally incomplete. In a sense of that, because he feels like he's always behind his peers, and that he can never reach up to them because of the fact that that his power came from such a rotten source. And this sort of symbolizes the fact that he feels like there's something distinctly missing. Or you could read it as the fact that the part that belongs to All for One is not even really him. It's something gross, something that when he has a heart to heart with Aizawa completely vanishes, doesn't even get to be on screen. Like,
It
it's
is
definitely
pretty gross.
symbolic. It's definitely symbolic, and you can choose kind of to see whatever you want out of it. But yeah, Aizawa's speech kind of hit. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of good.
It was a quality speech. It was a good one because ultimately it was just another like, as long as you're with your friends, you can do anything shonen speech. But it was delivered in a very good, like mature way, which is
Right.
which is good because a lot of the times, like it feels like especially recent My Hero could have easily botched this speech and just been like, "Take my hands, and together we will
Yeah,
win."
I mean, that's literally the speech Deku gave him, and
I
I
know.
like that, and I like that in this interaction, Aizawa is like, "Your friends are soft and they like to sugarcoat things, but here's how the real situation is," and I like that because you both sort of get that inspirational, shonen classic spice of, "Hey, you're our friend and we will work with you," but you also get a mature perspective, and I like that it actually like lines up with who says it. Deku the child gives him a fairly childlike response. Meanwhile, Aizawa, the seasoned veteran, is like, "Look, I know, I know your friends want to be with you, and you're my student, and I care for you, but this is gonna have consequences, and we will have to deal with that once all of this is over." And I just think that's cool. Like it's one of the things that originally drew me to My Hero back when I first discovered is that it felt like situations that would be tropey in other shonen were handled in ways that were like you would just always get this additional perspective on it that felt reasonable, and I don't want to say like mature specifically, but sort of understanding of a wider situation other than just, "Hey, we want to be friends." um and as you correctly said, I think My Hero has recently struggled in sort of recapturing that aspect of itself, but here it definitely got it back, which I'm very happy for. um do we have anything else? Because I think I've pretty much run out of things to say.
No, I think that's probably good. I feel
All right.
contented with that.
All right, perfect.
All right.
Thank you, Hori, out of 10. More of this.
Yeah, more of good things, please.
Yeah, more of good things, less of bad things, please.
Next up is gonna be Undead Unluck. Yeah, what the
Dude.
fuck, dude?
Who's that?
I don't know. What the fuck is going on?
Because at first I thought when the panel first happens, I thought that it is God
So did I.
personified. But then he's like, "We are capable of overcoming the loop." And he's like a black sun on his chest.
What the
Which,
fuck is going on?
right? And like if you look at his hand, the way he forms a blade is like it's almost like a blade folded over his hand. Like, Jesus, what?
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I'm like freaking out from that chapter. It blew my mind.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like something it would do. I mean, Fuko's definitely not dead, but just the moment in of itself is really, really strong. Also, he has vampire teeth.
Does he?
Like, yeah, in the last panel, if you look at
Oh
in
yeah, he does
the
have like fangs,
yeah,
and I
whatever
assume
that is
some
about.
measure of immortality, given that Andy just hacked him into pieces.
Mm-hmm. Also, yeah, that double spread of Andy losing his shit. That's cool as hell.
Yes, really good.
Mm-hmm. And having like the blood splatter from Fuko in the middle of his face.
Right in the center of his face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like for the most part, like up until the final page, this is a very sweet sort of yeah, like just rethreading of what has made this series the way it is so far, and sort of reestablishing their romance as the core plot element. And it's so sweet. And then this fucking shit happens.
Who is this fucker? Who the
No,
fuck is
we've
this?
never. I'm pretty sure we've never seen this guy. He kind of reminds me of like a twisted alternate version of Billy, because he has the hair, and Billy also had like a scar there even before he got burned. I think. but everything else is a complete is a complete mystery to me too. Like Jesus, where did this fucking come from
I
as
don't
well?
know, and like usually something like that would irritate me in a series where it's like, oh, this came out of nowhere. In this, I did absolutely nothing but freak out.
Yeah, right. Like
Like
it's
just panic, just pure
yeah,
panic.
yeah, because it's this is like one of those things that you would see in like top anime compilation moments forever, over and over again. Like wow, uh, yeah, like it's no clue.
Although when he
Hmm.
said, "For people like the two of us, once capable of overcoming the loop, death isn't an option," he was talking about Andy, right?
Yeah, I
So
think so.
I don't know. Maybe Fuko is dead for a while.
I
Because
guess,
the
but
whole time they built up Fuko as being the one who can invalidate the loop, or who can finally kill God and stop it.
mhm, guess that's true. But that still sort of leaves us at the question of who the fuck this guy is.
I
Because
mean,
yeah,
does he have the same power that Andy does? Because he doesn't seem to give a shit that he just got hacked into bits.
yeah. Well, as I said, his blade doesn't look like it's made from blood or anything. Like it seems like it's made out of like glass almost. If you look
Yeah,
at
or
page
like some kind of like
19.
almost like paper,
Yeah.
any sort of like yeah, because it's just like congeals around his hand.
Mhm. Yeah. What a striking design as well, like with the black sun on his chest.
Hmm.
Also, he does look like he's wearing a trench coat. Uh which could be sort of a Billy like thing, but I really don't know. Like this is this was a surprise and a half, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't even know where to go from this.
Also, yeah, God, like I think this is the first time we've seen Andy like go do the whole like anime thing where they don't have pupils. When he like slashes the guy, he's just in complete rage mode.
Yeah, I love that. That's like my favorite trope. It's just
Oh
when
yeah,
it's
for sure.
just white eye. Yeah, so good.
That's when you know shit go in the Jujutsu Kaisen anime, and that when he's fighting Mahito, and you get that one shot of Yuji losing his pupils, like that shit made me so
Hmm.
hard.
So good.
That yeah, like let's talk about climaxing, but I digress. Actually, you know what? The scar that this guy has is on the same side and roughly of the same size as the healed scar that Andy has with the debris. It's okay, no, it's a little lower.
Are
It's
you
like
talking
more
about
on
the
his
one
eye.
on his that's directly on his eye? Yeah,
Yeah. It still is weird that it's the same side
and
and that
yeah, like
it's
very close,
yeah.
and it's roughly the same shape.
Well, I mean that might also just be how the manga draws scars. Although
Yeah,
his scar looks very fresh or like way worse, I guess.
yeah, because it's a deeper red, whereas Andy's is just skin.
Mhm. Fuck. And you know that after like the beautiful color page, the like cover for the entire magazine that we got because this is the second anniversary chapter as well.
Hmm.
So
Fuck,
yeah,
man, I'm stressing. I'm stressing.
yeah, stress and hard. Oh, so yeah, now we've defeated. Now this world literally doesn't have seasons anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah, because you have on the double spread right at the start, you have spring, winter, autumn, and summer.
That's such a cool page
Oh yeah,
where
for
it just
that's
shows
so cool.
the battles against each of the seasons. So cool.
Mhm. Absolutely. Um, but yeah, that's probably all I have to say. I'm just shocked. I'm just in shock and awe over this twist. I genuinely cannot wait for next week.
Oh, I know. I need it so bad. Like I have to know what happens. It's rare for a
Yeah.
manga to hit me so hard where I'm like, I need to know, like right now, what
Mhm.
happens. I'm stressed though. I'm real stressed.
Yeah, it's definitely a little spicy. I need that next chapter, Shonen Jump. Thank you. You
Bring
can
it up.
deposit it.
Where is
Yeah,
it?
you can. You can deposit it in my post box. My address is Cave in the Woods, roughly Japan. My associate will welcome you. We'll have some tea, and then I'll steal your fucking quirk.
your your fucking fiction publishing quirk.
Like, how does he do it? How does Mr. Shonen Jump draw so many chapters every week?
How does he draw so many series at the same time?
Oh, but all right. Do you want to move into the finale?
I think so. That puts us at Jujutsu Kaisen.
Well, Mr. Jujutsu Kaisen, are we satisfied?
The shit hit, dude. It slapped so fucking hard. This guy was like, haha, I have the counter to you. I almost feel like this guy is borderline comic relief. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I can't take him completely seriously. Because he's like, I figured out this cool variant of the new shadow style that stops domains. And it was like, yeah, but it can't actually do that.
Well, this chapter is so interesting because it just brings in so much additional lore on domains and counter domains.
Which
And
one
I
thing that
like,
I love about Jujutsu Kaisen's power system is like it feels so intricate to the point where every little detail matters. Where it was like, actually, had Megumi's domain been better, this would be more effective against it than it is.
mhm.
So it's actually less effective because the technique isn't perfected yet. I love shit like that.
Yeah, and also that I I love about Jujutsu Kaisen's power system that so much of it is specifically built to deal with domains. Because in other power systems, you hear that, oh yeah, this one technique is like the strongest thing ever. But in Jujutsu Kaisen, when they tell you domain expansions are a problem, that is reinforced by the fact there are so many attempt solutions at the problem. Like you really get the sense that this used to be a huge issue, and that you needed to develop these countermeasures to them. And yeah, as you said, I really like that the thing that saves Megumi is his imperfection.
Hmm. Also, I love
Um,
how like simple his solution is to the problem. Because the like what first of all, what a specific and weird weakness to Ten Shadows where it's like everything inside the shadow adds additional weight onto you, which is
yeah,
why you
I
can't
mean,
carry so much stuff. And Megumi's response to that is, okay, but what if I crush you, bitch?
truly his father's son. He may have powers, but his mind is still simple. You are fighting a cursed dragon. You better pull out the blicky. That's the Zenin way. That's a Fushiguro way. But yeah, actually, I really like the weakness because in a way, it's like your shadow and yourself, they're linked. There is a certain level of equilibrium between them. So adding weight, adding mass to the shadow would increase your mass, and you would have to be able to carry that. And it's kind of crazy, but it's also really cool. I really like it. Um, it's it's definitely not something I expected. That's for sure. Um, Also, Jesus, how fucking ripped is Megumi? He's like, oh yeah, you're carrying 2.4 tons in your shadow right
Yeah,
now.
yeah. Jujutsu Kaisen characters don't fuck around.
Yeah, like you either lift 7 cars at once or you're a weakling. Don't even try.
But I think like the coolest shit about it is how dynamic like his combat style is when he's in his domain. Like using the
Mhm.
fucking Naruto clones basically, and he's oh my god, it's so fucking
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. I mean, the combat is really, really cool. Just in general. I mean, we've talked about Gege's paneling and action choreography, but this one's just also a great example of it. Like the whole sequentiality of it is so easy to follow most of the time,
Hmm.
and it's genuinely impressive.
Like I
Also
love
helps
the
that the
the like
art is great.
strategy too. Like I get big vibes of like Yuji fighting Toto when it's the clones helping each other, or Yuji and Toto fighting
Mhm.
Hanami. I mean, like
Mhm.
I love page 11 where he blocks the sword and the other clone just comes in and elbows the shit out of him mid fight.
Yeah, yeah, right. And it's cool because if you follow those panels, the sword and sort of the sword strike almost like it almost works as a reference point to then in the next panel have the character almost rotate.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Megumi that comes in is in the same position as the other Megumi. And it's crazy. Like it almost creates this feeling like a camera swooping around. And I don't know if everyone like has felt that, but to me that seems like a really cool technique. Giga is just so blessed when it comes to these things. Like he really knows how to make this shit work. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. I really think his sort of rougher, more sketchy art style helps with that. I don't think this would work as well in like a My Hero styled series. Because I feel like only because things are so rough and sketchy, it gives your interpretation of it the freedom to follow through with these panel changes. I feel like if this were all clean and rigid, it would be much harder to have these movements between them because you would just see two separate images, like clean, polished images, as opposed to the more chaotic, stream of lines that Gege often produces. I don't know if that made any sense. That's just sort of what I'm feeling right
I would
now.
say it makes sense.
All right, good. I am not stupid yet. That's good
Just
to
just
know.
just stupid.
Just stupid, yeah,
I
but that's okay. That's that I accept that. I can live with that. Um,
fucking love that he just used Max Elephant as like this bitch big. That's the
like
whole attack.
in the final page, Elephant looks so like nonplussed as well.
Yeah, he's just like,
Oh no,
oh
Max
no.
stress thrown me.
Oh man. Oh jeez.
Also, I like how both this chapter and the last chapter both had the same structure in that it's Reggie doing something new, thinking he's backed Megumi in a corner, and then in the final 2 pages, Megumi going, anyway, die.
Yeah. Anyway, here's this.
Yeah. Anyway, here's Wonderwall. Uh, yeah, also, I just like the way Chimera Shadow Garden uh, looks now. Like, it's more. Because the first time it appeared was very inky. Now it looks more like water. Like, it looks
hmm
more like an ocean than anything,
Yeah, it
which
was
is also
very
very cool.
like viscous the first time.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of still is at the start of this chapter, like in the first page. There, it just looks like goo. Um, but yeah, no, very very fun chapter. I also like how Reggie's ability is called esoteric technique. Like I'm flamboyant. Here's how you know.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a little on the nose, but I like it.
hey, I mean, he's a guy wearing a poncho made out of receipts. Like I'm not complaining. I'm definitely not out here complaining. Um, but yeah, that's probably all I had to say on it, unless you have something you want to highlight specifically.
No, I mean, I just love the interaction between the combat styles. That was like the big thing for the chapter for me that made it so cool. Is like one,
Hmm.
we get a new technique, and then two, it immediately is like, actually, this is only good against actual domains. And I like the little bit
Yeah.
of throwback to Jogo and Hanami's counter technique and why this one was different.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
I mean, it is kind of a meme at this point that shadow style and domain amplification and all that stuff. Every time they mention it, it just becomes more complicated
Yeah,
to try and keep track of. But that's kind of what makes it good, in my opinion.
yeah, I like that kind of
Um,
stuff because it doesn't feel like it's thrown together haphazardly either, which is nice.
yeah.
Because sometimes when it gets so complicated, you're like, this dude is pulling this shit out of fucking nowhere. But
Hmm.
I don't get that vibe. So
Also, I think more importantly, I'm pretty sure this implies that Sukuna's domain would not be affected by new shadow style either. Because new shadow style, at least this version of it, specifically counters a barrier, and Sukuna's domain doesn't have a barrier. So what do you do?
That's
Die,
true.
I
You
guess.
just die, yeah. Man,
Yeah,
Sukuna fucking he's so badass. What a fucking
yeah.
awesome character.
Need it back.
I
I
need him
mean,
back
he's
desperately.
quote unquote, he's so badass. What a cool character. I need him back. That applies to like 5 different characters in Jujutsu
That
Kaisen.
actually, yeah, that actually applies to almost every character that's not currently on screen in Jujutsu
Yeah,
Kaisen.
right. That it applies to Panda.
It does though. Like
Yeah. I still want to know what his third core is.
I know we still know the sister core. I need it. I was hoping he was
Uh,
gonna use it against Hakari. Maybe he'll use it against the guy they're going to fight together.
mhm. His sister core is just an actual little girl.
It just makes me feel bad.
No, because the thing is that'd be kind of creepy, and we know Gege doesn't do that because his mom
Yeah, his
reads
mom
the
watches
manga.
it. Yeah, his
Yeah,
mom reads the manga, so he can't be weird.
yeah. But I think the most important takeaway from this chapter really is just that Megumi is fucking built.
Yeah, Megami's ripped. Megami will fuck your shit up.
Bodybuilder
And
Megumi.
reading this, a lot of people are making comparisons to Megami and Toji for obvious reasons, given that he's his
Mm-hmm.
daddy. But you know who this
Mm-hmm.
reminds me of?
Hmm.
Geto.
Who? You think?
The original Geto, not Kenjaku. Because
Mm-hmm.
this kind of style of like, I'm gonna throw this big monster at you, and if you avoid him, I'm just gonna fucking beat the shit out of you. Was like
Mm-hmm.
all of Geto's combat style in Jujutsu Kaisen Zero and the flashback arc.
That's true. That's true.
And then you think back on how the person who taught him how to fight really was Gojo, and you're like, oh man,
Mm.
he knows that he saw Geto fight with a similar ability to what Megami has, and that's he just taught him to fight that way. Oh,
Oh. Although I will say, I also see a lot of, especially now with the whole weight thing. I'm definitely also seeing like Toji shit because like Toji's big thing was that he had a super strong body. I'm sorry, I think carrying 3 cars on you permanently is kind of a Toji level feat. I'm not gonna lie.
I feel like Toji would be a lot stronger than that, but I don't. I guess I don't know.
I'm, I mean, he probably is because that's how heavenly restriction works, right? But just sort of in terms of depiction, it's interesting that we also get this big word, functional parallelism going on, where Megumi displays an ability that should be reserved for people like Toji or the now female Toji,
Maki.
Maki. Yeah. Like it's interesting that he's sort of going in that direction without having a heavenly restriction.
Yeah, I mean, we know that
Um,
cursed energy also can make you fucking strong. Like that's why Gojo is
that's
so
also true.
physically strong. He's kicking people across like terrain, or
Well, no,
why
I mean the
Yuji
reason,
and Yuta can like flick cars around.
yeah, but I mean the reason Gojo is strong is because he's Gojo. Like, you know, if he decides that he's strong enough to pick up a mountain, that's what he's doing that day. You know, it's just how he works.
I mean, that is true.
That is
That is true.
that is.
But like,
l- l-
it's just it makes me want to see more heavenly restriction characters fight other characters with cursed energy because we know that like to an extent, cursed energy can also amp you. Because like, look at Yuta, who's like
Mhm,
kind of this little baby child wimp, but he's got so much cursed energy that he can throw down and keep up with Yuji easily,
mhm.
like outclass him, even in terms of like physicality. So it's interesting. I just want to see more. I need to see more of all of this shit all come together.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
just I just need a chapter a day. All right.
yeah, take your time, be healthy, but also I want 7 chapters in the next 2 hours.
Yeah, I want the rest of the series on my desk by tomorrow morning.
Yeah, and you know, if you want to send it via post, you know where to send it.
Shonen and chill. Address cave in the woods.
You know what? That's not inaccurate. Our fucking our fucking goblin lair, where we make these episodes. Where 3 things happen. We make Shonen and Chill. We produce hot take bad tweets, and we viciously flirt. That's all that happens in this cave. The Goblin Cavern.
Local legends abound about it.
We turn into like a yokai. Two-headed man who screams "My hero bad" and occasionally kisses his other head. All
Oh
right,
god.
we're getting homosexual. Is this time for us to end the
Yeah, I
episode?
think that's about time. I think that's a good cue to call it for today.
That's
Uh
also a clip, by the way. uh, Nothing wrong with being gay for your homies. Nothing gay about it either.
Oh god. All right. So here's our lovely patrons over at patreon.com/shonenchill. Thank you guys for doing that. Keep an eye out. The poll for this month is going to go up tonight. There's some crazy recommendations in there. There's some. I think they after Blue Box's resounding success when it won the poll the first time, a lot of people
Mhm.
are starting to use the poll as a way to get you to read things.
Oh, let me guess. It's Sakamoto Days.
Sakamoto Days actually was not on it.
Oh, because I'm reading it.
I
I'm
think
trying.
because it's come out that you're reading it already. But
Well, I'm
Mission
still
Yozakura
trying.
Family was on there. Kaiju number 8's on there. There's a bunch of stuff on there that people have been asking you to read for the show, and they're using the poll to give you no choice.
I cannot believe the fucking bully Oceans to read more series petition that they started like a year ago has now taken shape in form of our Patreon.
The initiative is working.
This is what democracy was made for. But yeah, I'll be interested to see what wins. I hope whatever wins will be even half as cool as Blue Box,
Yes,
as I
I
really
hope
like Blue
so.
Box now.
This Blue Box is really good, and I hope it's
Mhm.
not Kubo won't let me be invisible.
Well, wait, didn't we already? Wait, yeah, we already read Kubo.
Yeah, I know, and it was bad.
Oh yeah, okay. I was about to say because the way you said it, it sounded like it's on the poll and you don't
No,
want it to
no, I
win.
just want it to be Blue Box level, not Kubo level.
Oh, okay. Well, I wouldn't mind it being Kubo level, but a different Kubo.
Well, yeah, the good one.
The good Kubo. All right. In that case, if there's nothing else,
Nope. We will see you guys next time.
all right, folks. See you around. Bye.